Good morning out there. Today's Friday, May 9th, 2025. I'm Anthony, and this is Drive Dive. And so I realized it's been a whole week, and this is the first video I've made. Referring back to James Clear's Atomic Habits, he says, you can't skip more than 2. And here I have skipped 4 days this week where I've just been tired or focused on other things and, haven't gotten around to recording in the morning or feeling like it, or, maybe not reading anything that I felt was worth sharing. And so I didn't make any videos. But, I wanted to kind of reflect on that a little bit with you, if you don't mind, where, sometimes I get really hard on myself about, well, was I productive? Was I not productive? And, all that stuff. And I guess between myself and my son, we just have so many interests where it's kind of hard to say, did I make progress in all of these different areas, on all of these different projects and interests? And so, to give you again a recap of some of those things, there's Disney Lorcana, there's my own, his soccer stuff, there's me and my fitness regimen, which includes my diet, cardio, strength training, right? There's what I actually do for a living, right? And then I don't know, there's that end all be all maybe of are we making money? And so, what counts and can you do all of that, right? On those lists too, I think you probably have things maintaining certain relationships, right? Friends, family, individual family members, individual friends, and so it can be tough to, right? You're not going to get it perfect, but are you making progress, right? And so for me, the videos and staying up late, I think, right? But staying up late to get some extra reps on in Lorcana, this trading card game. This is the month of set championships. So every weekend, different stores host tournaments, and there's prize cards from Ravensburger, the company that makes the game. That you compete for. We also go to league play to get some extra reps in, and you can play for some packs. And so it's been a lot of fun, cool experience, a lot of cool times, hanging out with my son, getting to these shops, and so it's 2 birds with one stone, right? 3 birds with one stone, where, he and I are spending some time together, so getting to, continue building on that relationship and all that while we're getting these reps for Lorcana. If money's important to you, it's an investment in the sense that, we are acquiring additional cards, and the value of those cards may increase over time. Might not. Could be, fool's gold, or, something to that effect where maybe it never, turns into, something of value like a Charizard card from Pokemon or something like that. But we are in this weird age of collectibles and everything like that, where, I don't know, people seem to be paying silly amounts of money for pieces of cardboard, right? It's just kind of the whole thing, right? Outsider's perspective, but being in it, I don't know, it's interesting. You get fans of particular franchises and things, or chasing types of cards. You get people who, I don't know, I heard a guy talking about wanting to foil his entire deck, so getting varieties of every single card, I guess, that are foil, as opposed to just a non-glare sort of. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So we've been doing that sort of thing. My fitness stuff, man, I gotta be honest, I haven't hit the weights in a while, right? I've been staying up late to, like I said, get some extra reps in this Lorcana game online. But I have been sticking to my diet, and working with my coach, where we finally decided, let's remove some additional carbohydrates. And so, phasing out a box of cereal over the course of this week, I've cut out about a quarter cup of oatmeal and 3/4 cup of cereal. So, cut out some of those grains, some of those carbs, and we'll, start to, I guess, try to shed even more body fat. I have lost about 50 pounds in, 2.5 years, something to that effect. July will be 3 years, will be the 3-year mark of this, renewed commitment to maintaining a better body composition, right? A leaner body composition, as I have in the past. But then, with raising kids and everything else, just kind of falling out of it, right? And maybe a little too focused on the career. I've been able to kind of circle back to really my real interests, right? My passions, what makes me feel good about myself. Not that my career in education doesn't make me feel good about myself, but there's a balance, right? I'm back in a classroom role, connecting with kids, diving into geometry proofs and things of that nature, and having a little bit of fun that way. Which makes me feel good about myself, right? And supporting kids and not having. You're going to have kids who fail. It's just, there's not a whole lot I can do. I can, make myself available, but, having a very low number of students, not make the cut. When you talk to some other educators about the number of failures that they have in their class and things, it's like, oh, no. So I think, we're doing okay on that front. And then obviously having kids that excel and everything, those are things that make me feel good about myself too. So it's just so interesting, to try to figure out, like, okay, did I nail everything? Right? Like, did I work out? Did I get cardio in? And I have been able to, hit 8,000 steps a day as my coach has advised. Everybody goes to bed at home. It's like 9:30. I'll eat. I'll play some Lorcana, and I'll get on the treadmill. For I don't know, anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes, depending on how active I was during the day. To get the remaining steps I need to hit my 8,000 goal, or if I happen to have a low day, I think a couple of days I was trying to shoot for like 8,500 just to kind of compensate for maybe last weekend's card tournament, where I was sitting down for hours and not really moving a whole lot. So able to at night, yes, right? Get some Lorcana practice in, get some cardio in, sticking to the diet. Did I hit the weights? No. But again, it's not going to be perfect, and I'll have to just, when I have the time, I'll do it, and just got to focus on different things. You're not going to be able to hit it all. Making a video, right? I mean, sometimes I just make the video. I've started to, if I reference an article that I read, I'll paste the link in the description. That's not something I had done previously, but getting a little bit better. I don't do thumbnails. I don't do I don't get too creative, I don't think, with titles and descriptions. So it's like doing it perfectly, no, but sometimes, not all the time. Better done than good, right? Better done than done well. So I think that needs to be the mindset, right? And at times, I'm playing Lorcana and just getting beat like badly online, like playing against all these like random decks, and I'm going like, man, like is this a waste of time? And really starting to doubt myself, but you have to look for that positive, look for that silver lining. It's like, yeah, even in a loss though, right, there's learning opportunities, right? It's seeing like, oh my goodness, like, yes, while the chances of seeing this exact deck from an opponent, might be slim to none, I at least know that it's out there. I know that it exists, that it's a possibility. And as my opponent is playing cards, I can start to imagine, okay, what is this person's strategy, right? And I've also learned, I think, a bit about my deck and different combinations of cards, how to play that style, and what it could look like, what I'm trying to start with and finish with, and all that fun stuff. So even in a loss, there's a lot to be learned, a lot to be gained, and like I've said before, it's just like that's the mindset. You have to kind of, look for that. And that's been the secret, right? I mean, I share it again where, in a previous video, sitting on a Saturday morning, wondering to myself, like, here we are, 2 hours of soccer, and I'm not getting anything done. And it's like, oh yeah, but time out. Like, my kid's growing, right? And I'm responsible for his growth. So in a way, yes, I'm getting something done. I am making progress. So is this video perfect? No, but I'm making progress, right? It is another video, I think, with some thought-provoking, motivational words of wisdom, contained herein. But then ultimately, right? I mean, it's another video that somebody may click and watch. I may get additional views. I may eventually monetize this. Who knows, right? Is that the goal? Maybe. It'd be great 5-10 years from now, if we're generating some amount of money. But if not, it's still progress, right? It's not perfect. It's not ideal. but it's still progress. It's making use of this time while I drive, and all that fun stuff, and getting to reflect and share and, I think grow as a person and remind myself of my goals and my mindset, desired mindset anyway, as I go through go throughout my day, the days, the weeks, the months, some of the challenges of being a father, of being a teacher, a homeowner, a husband, all of that fun stuff. And speaking of which, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there watching. Make sure you take care of those folks, your own mothers and your own spouses and significant others. And, even if not a mother or etc., right? Just take time to, call somebody's mom, there's a woman in your life somewhere who is a mother who, did something nice for you at least one time, and, you can take the time to acknowledge that. So, I don't know. Anyway, have fun. Happy Friday. And I should catch you on Monday. Take care.